Everyone, welcome back to Litlens. Today we are diving into the topic literary devices. What are literary devices? Literary devices are techniques and tools that writers use to convey meaning and create powerful effects and enhance beauty of their writing. A literary device is a tool which is used by writers to tell stories or to express ideas in a more powerful way than the plain straight words. That is literary device. It helps to enhance expression, create vivid imagery, and engage the reader. Now we will see the different kinds of literary devices a writer uses in his works or anyone uses in their language. First one is simile. When you hear the term simile, you should understand that simile is nothing but a comparison. When we compare two unlike things using like or as, it is called simile. Life is like a box of chocolates. She is as sweet as sugar. So simile is nothing but comparison using the words like or as. If you see like or as during comparison, it is nothing but simile. Now we go to metaphor. Just like simile, metaphor also shows comparison. But here is the difference. Here we are not using as or like. Here we are using direct comparison, stating that one thing is other. It compares two things, but it is a bolder attempt. Here we are telling that one thing is another. We are not telling that it is like that. It is that. That is metaphor. All world is a stage. Time is money. If I say time is like money, that is simile. Time is money means it is metaphor. I am comparing time to money, but I am not using like or as. It's a direct comparison of two different things, two unrelated things. That is metaphor. Now we'll go to personification. Personification means when you give human qualities to something that is not human, that is personification. Personification assigns human qualities, emotions, or actions to non human objects, animals, or abstract ideas. When I say the wind whispered secrets through the ancient trees on a cold winter night, wind cannot whisper, right? But the moment when you write in this way, suddenly the wind feels alive, clear. It looks mysterious. It has some power. It creates an engagement in the reader. So, this is personification when we assign human qualities, emotions, or actions to a non human object. The stars danced playfully in the moonlit sky. Opportunity knocked on his door. This is personification. These are the examples of personification. Here comes the most celebrated literary device, alliteration. Alliteration is nothing but the repetition of the same consonant sounds in a line or a sentence. Okay. Alliteration gives a musicality or a rhythm to the line. She sells seashells by the seashore. The fair breeze blew, the white foam flew, the furrow followed free. See, repetition of consonant sounds is called, the same consonant sounds is called alliteration. She sells seashells, s and sh sounds are being repeated, right? That is called alliteration. Now we go to onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia is nothing but words that actually sound like what they describe. Words that actually sound like what they describe. For example, the thunder crashed and boomed across the valley. When you write that, that word crashed almost sound like thunder itself, right? It sounds like thunder itself. So it pulls the reader into the scene. Clear. So onomatopoeia refers to the words that phonetically imitate or suggest the actual sound they describe. The buzzing of bee, the busk sound of bee, right? So this is called onomatopoeia. It is working on two levels, meanings and sound. Okay, clear? Now come hyperbole. Hyperbole is an exaggeration. Hyperbole means nothing but extreme exaggeration. If I tell you that I'm so hungry that I could eat an entire house right now, doesn't mean that I'll be able to eat a house, right? So it is a literary device. The technique, it's a tool where we exaggerate things. I am so hungry, I could eat an entire horse right now. It is used to give a humorous effect or a dramatic effect or to give an emphasis. Okay, I have told you a million times to clean your room. That exaggeration is that is exaggerated there, right? Giving an emphasis there. I've told you a million times to clean your room. She cried a river of tears when she heard the devastating news. So when you read this line, you are not simply reading it, but you understand, but you feel that sadness. That is why we use hyperbole. That is why we use this exaggeration. Okay. Next is irony. Irony occurs when what is said, done, or expected is the opposite of what is actually meant or what actually happens. Irony, everybody knows, right? Irony means something is said and it is the opposite of what actually meant. If I say something, I meant it just opposite of that. It has verbal irony, situational irony, and dramatic irony. See, a fire station burns into the ground while its firefighters are away at another blaze. Situational irony. See, imagine that situation. It is happening. It situation. It is something happens is the opposite of what you would expect, right? Imagine fire station burning down. You would expect a fire station to be the last place to catch fire, right? Also, when you say something which is opposite of what you mean, a student fails an exam and says, "Oh, fantastic! This is exactly what I needed today." This is called irony. Okay. Now comes oxymoron. Oxymoron combines two contradictory or opposite words to create a striking or paradoxical expression that reveals a deeper truth. Okay, here oxymoron combines two different words, that is, two opposite words. It can be a paradoxical expression to create a striking or image. There was a deafening silence. Deafening means what? Deafening. You know what is deafening, right? Deafening means loud. There was a deafening silence. The bittersweet memories. Bitter and sweet are opposites. So together they describe a single word. That is called oxymoron. Now comes imagery. Imagery is not. It is nothing but word pictures. They are descriptive language that appeals to our senses. When somebody writes, you can feel, you can sight, you can sound, you can feel that, touch that. These kind of images when you get while reading a work, it is called imagery. See, when I say close your eyes and read this, the crimson and the amber sunset painted the sky in a blazing wash of warm glowing color. At that time you can imagine that, visualize that. So imagine imagery is a language that appeals to your senses. Okay, it can be visual imagery, auditory imagery, tactile, anything. Okay. Next we come to foreshadowing. Foreshadowing is nothing but when a writer drops a hint, a subtle hint or a clue about the events which occur later in the story. So foreshadowing is a technique where author gives us hint that something can be happen. A clue will be given. It is like the author is whispering to you, pay attention here, something will happen later. Okay, clear? That is foreshadowing. In Romeo and Juliet, Juliet says on, "My grave is like to be my wedding bed." She's actually hinting her death there. She's actually predicting her own death there. Okay, this is called foreshadowing. Now we come to symbolism. Symbolism uses an object, character, or a color or event to represent a deeper or abstract idea. Symbolism is when an object or character or color represents a deep idea or a theme. A white dove means peace. Okay, my love is like red, red rose. That red symbolize love, that passionate love. Okay, that is called symbolism. Next is allusion. Allusion is an indirect reference to a well known person, event, myth, or a literary work. Allusion means when a writer makes a quick reference to something well known. It can be a famous book, it can be a historical event, it can be a myth, it can be a person without explaining it fully. Okay, that is called allusion. It's an indirect reference to something else. He was a real Romeo with the ladies, charming, romantic, and utterly irresistible to everyone with. See, he was a real Romeo. Okay, so here we are giving allusion to the character in the reference to character Romeo. Clear. Next is anaphora. Anaphora is a deliberate repetition of a word or phrase at the beginning of the sorry, successive clauses or sentences to create emphasis and rhythm. Anaphora means it's the repetition of words or a group of words at the beginning of successive sentence. See, we shall fight on the beaches, we shall fight on the landing grounds, we shall fight in the fields. See those words repeated, we shall fight. This is called anaphora. This is a quick reference guide for you. Go through simile, metaphor, personification, foreshadowing, everything. By this, we have come to an end of this topic, literary devices. Please like and share and subscribe. If you like this video, please share with your friends as well. And thank you for watching. This means world to me. Thank you.